Hi folks, today we are going to discuss an article which appeared in today's Dallas Morning News, reprinted from the Associated Press, and here's that article. Not so much the title in this article, which is telling, but let's look at the sub-headline. That's right, according to this article, the Taiwanese favor independence, and I asked to myself, independence from where? From whom? Independence from Asia? Independence from planet Earth? This article basically is about a communist leader from Beijing visiting the island nation of Taiwan, or as the news media would say, the island province of Taiwan. The American news media has a love affair with communists, dictators, despots, rogues, and fascists. That's who they love. If you're a representative democracy, they do not like you. Let me give you some background onto the China-Taiwan issue. Back before the commies were there was a one nationalist government in China located in Peking. Well, the living situations in China at the time under the nationalist government was somewhat deplorable for the average Chinese person. So Mao Zedong, commie Mao Zedong, and his band of murderous commies said, "Hey, we don't like what's going on here in China. We need to improve the living conditions of the average peasant. We most certainly do." And he had a point there. But his method was somewhat questionable. So he started a war between commies and the nationalists. And the war went on for years. At its conclusion, the nationalist government was forced from the mainland onto the island of Formosa, better known as Taiwan. And for years, the world governments and the United Nations recognized the one legitimate government of all of China to be on the island of Taiwan, Formosa, the nationalist. Then in the early 1970s, a couple of people said, "Hey, how are you going to ignore mainland China with close to 1 billion people? You're going to have to recognize Mao Zedong and his commies as being the governor of mainland China." So they developed a two-China policy. Yeah, two Chinas we have. We have the commies with Mao Zedong in Beijing, and we have the nationalists in Taiwan on the island of Formosa. So we had the two Chinas. Then some years later, one of those Chinas disappeared. And you know which China disappeared? The nationalists. Taiwan, Formosa. Poof, no more. We're only going to have one China, and that's the government in Beijing. And Taiwan is just a province or a region of mainland China. And it's a breakaway region or province of China who is seeking independence. Seeking independence. Yeah, bunch of nuts. They were the original government was in Taiwan. How are you going to seek independence when you're independent to begin with? That's because the American news media tells lies. That's because the American news media leaves out facts. Yeah, that's what they do. That's why the American public does not trust the news media anymore. Why the subscriptions to newspapers are decreasing and the viewership to their TV news is decreasing. That's because they're a bunch of liars. Yeah! Alright folks, we'll see you. God bless you. God bless America. And God bless the nation you happen to be in. See ya.
We are springing to the far for 300,000 more, shouting the battle.